I have the Standard newspaper with me. MP set stage for big clash with CJ Kome, and this is in as far as the NGCDF funds are concerned. I did highlight that in our news where the Treasury and Parliament are at a clash or at loggerheads on whether the Treasury should disburse the whole amount of money, about 44 billion shillings, while the Treasury is saying they can only disburse about 2 billion shillings weekly, but the Parliament doesn't want to hear anything of that sort. And the CS for Treasury, that is Juguna Ndungu, says that he's awaiting the Attorney General, that is Justin Muturi, to give approval at least, or to give the way forward in as far as legal matters are concerned, given that the Supreme Court had actually declared that the NGCDF fund as illegal. So that is one of the stories that is being highlighted on the front page of the Standard newspaper. Also, Bill Gates' mission in Kenya, that's another story highlighted on the front page of the Standard newspaper. Now, the amount of money that the NGCDF owes to Parliament is 44.3 billion shillings. And as I've mentioned, in 2015, the Supreme Court did declare the NGCDF, unconstitutional. So the CS for Treasury, they are defending himself, saying he awaits Justin Muturi, the Attorney General, to give him the way forward. Also highlighted in the Standard is the teacher union clash over junior secondary school funding of education. Kuppet says that the junior high school should be situated in the high schools or secondary schools, while the NAT says that it should be situated in primary school. So that story also there in the Standard newspaper. Ruto gives MPs not to push for the removal of Cherrera 4. So it's been a controversial matter there. I mean, with the conclusion of the August 9th general elections, I think most of us are aware of what happened. Some of the commissioners did disagree with the chair, that is Fletcher Bukati, on the results. And so this elicited a lot of reaction from members of Parliament, especially from the Kenya Kwanza, who have been pushing for the removal of the so-called Cherrera 4, that is the deputy chair of the IEBC. And so that story is highlighted here. The National Assembly Speaker, Moses Wetangula, on Tuesday received 4 petitions seeking the removal of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, that is the deputy chair, Juliana Cherrera, and commissioners, Francis Mathenge, Irene Masit, and Justus Nyang'aya. Kenya Kwanza MPs and senators made their intentions to remove from office the 4 commissioners who differed with the IEBC chair on the August 9th polls results. So that's also there. In the Standard newspaper again, sports, that is. I've just checked the sports news on the back page. Benzema hopes to crown comeback with World Cup win. So he hopes to, they hope to win. Ballon d'Or winner will be key as the world champions seek to successfully defend their crown. So Real Madrid star was excluded from the national team for 6 years over some scandals over there. So that is the Standard newspaper. We look at the Star. And the first page, or the front page, Iyala hopefuls hustle MPs as voting looms. And just as Stephanie has mentioned, there was a lot of activity last night until late in the night where some of the candidates were really trying to convince the members of Parliament as to why they are the best candidates to represent Kenya in the regional parliament, that is EALA, the East African Legislative Assembly. So they went as far as printing flyers with their manifestos and all that, just to ensure that they're able to clinch that position. But it will be a tough call because in total there are 28 candidates. The ones that have been fronted by their respective political parties, they are those who are independent. So 28 of them, Parliament and the Senate will really be having a very big job or today to do, as voting happens simultaneously at 9:30 and I think 10 o'clock in Parliament and the Senate at the same time. So That story highlighted. Unions fight over junior secondary school placement. That is a story highlighted in the Star. So Labour CS and PS reveal challenges state faces in protecting Kenyans in the Middle East. It's a story we also had in our news bulletin, and just emphasizing on budgetary allocation, which say is not enough for them to be able to facilitate Kenyans who are in distress in the Middle Eastern countries, especially in Saudi Arabia. So that is a story highlighted in the Star. 210,000 Kenyans are currently working in Saudi Arabia. The Treasury did disburse some money, that is about 6 million shillings in the current financial year, but the PS and the CS say that money is not enough, especially now that they have to build safe houses for Kenyans who are in distress in Saudi Arabia. So generally speaking, they're asking for more money to be able to protect Kenyans and even facilitate their evacuation if need be back in the country in case they find themselves in the wrong hands. So police boss Koome creates mental wellness department in the police force. I think this is long overdue, given that there've been several incidences where police officers either commit suicide, shoot one another, or something like that. So that is also a story highlighted in the Star, where the new police boss, that is Japheth Koome, creates mental wellness department. The new directorate has been created in the National Police Service, addressing rising cases of mental illness. It will be headed by the former Central Regional Police Commander, that is Manasseh Musyoka, to lead the department. The former police boss, that is Hilary Mutyambai, did actually give data on the number of police officers he termed as not fit to serve in the police force. 2,000 of them, he said, are not fit to serve in the police force. So that in itself puts the police officers and even members of the public at risk. So that is a good move by the new police boss, Japheth Koome, creating the wellness department to address issues of mental health. So, Ms. Ayata, do we have anything else to add on to that?
I believe we just wait for the entertainment bit of this, because I'm very much excited.